They said this story was finished. They said Nick and Noah were done for good. But some love stories don't end. They wait. And now, after the silence, the pain, and the unanswered questions, they are back. Time has passed, but the memory never faded. Nick and Noah were never just another couple. They were fire and chaos, love and destruction. Two souls pulled together even when everything around them said they shouldn't be. When their story paused after Culpa Tuya, it didn't feel like an ending. It felt like something unfinished, something broken right in the middle. Fans were left holding emotions with nowhere to put them. For a long time, there was only silence. No promises. No answers. Just the echo of what once was. People moved on, or at least tried to. But deep down, the question stayed the same. What happened after? Because love like theirs doesn't disappear quietly. It leaves marks. It stays awake at night. It waits. Now, with the first sneak peek of Culpa Nuestra, that silence is gone. And what replaces it is not peace, it's tension. One look is enough to bring everything back. The distance, the history, the emotions they never learned how to say out loud. This is not a soft return. This is the kind of return that opens old wounds and forces the truth to step into the light. Nick and Noah are not coming back as the same people. Too much has happened. Too many mistakes were made. Too many words were never said. This chapter doesn't promise comfort, it promises confrontation. Because when two people share a past like theirs, meeting again is never simple. It's heavy. It's dangerous. And it's emotional. Culpa Nuestra doesn't ask if they still care. That answer is already clear. The real question is, what are they willing to face now? When we last saw Nick and Noah, their love was standing on broken ground. What once felt powerful and exciting slowly turned into something painful and confusing. They loved each other deeply, but love alone was never enough. Every argument, every secret, every bad decision pushed them further apart. And still, neither of them truly knew how to let go. Nick carried his own storms. He tried to protect, but often ended up controlling. He loved hard, but when fear took over, he hurt the person he cared about the most. His mistakes were not small ones. They were the kind that leave scars, the kind that make forgiveness feel impossible. And yet, behind all that anger, there was still a boy who didn't know how to love without breaking things. Noah, on the other hand, was learning who she really was. She wasn't the same girl who entered Nick's world at the beginning. She grew stronger, but that strength came with pain. She was tired of being pulled into chaos, tired of feeling like she had to lose herself to keep someone else close. Walking away didn't mean she stopped loving him. It meant she finally chose herself. Their separation wasn't calm. It wasn't clean. It was full of words that cut deep and silences that hurt even more. They left things unsaid because saying them would have meant facing the truth. And sometimes the truth is too heavy when you're already breaking. What makes their story unforgettable is not just the love, it's the damage. The way they changed each other. The way even apart they still felt connected. Every step forward felt wrong without the other person there. Every memory became a reminder of what they lost and what they couldn't fix at the time. So, when Culpa Nuestra brings them back into the same space, it doesn't bring peace. It brings history. It brings regret. It brings emotions they thought they had buried. Because you can move on from someone, but you can never erase a love that once felt like home, and now the past is no longer behind them. It's standing right in front of them, waiting to be faced. The sneak peek doesn't give answers. It gives feelings. And that's what makes it powerful. There are no loud moments, no clear explanations, just silence filled with meaning. A slow look. A pause that lasts a little too long. The kind of moments where everything is said without a single word. It feels intentional, as if the story wants us to lean in closer. Nick's presence feels heavier this time. He doesn't look reckless or wild. He looks tired. Like someone who has lived with regret for too long. Every expression hints that he knows what he lost, and that knowledge follows him everywhere. This isn't a man chasing love anymore. This is someone standing face to face with the damage he caused. Noah, on the other hand, feels guarded. strong but careful. Her silence speaks of boundaries built after being hurt. She isn't running toward the past. She's standing still, deciding if the past even deserves a place in her present. The sneak peek shows her calm, but there's emotion under the surface. Love doesn't disappear. It learns how to hide. What's missing from the sneak peek is just as important as what we see. There is no clear reunion. No touch, no promise. That absence creates tension. It tells us this story won't rush healing. It won't pretend forgiveness is easy. Everything feels slow, controlled, and real, like two people walking on fragile ground, afraid of breaking it again. The tone suggests conflict, not romance. Not yet. This chapter seems focused on truth, on conversations that were avoided before, on emotions that were pushed aside because they were too uncomfortable. The sneak peek hints that both Nick and Noah are finally ready to listen, not to argue, not to win, but to understand. Culpa Nuestra feels like a story about consequences, about what happens after the passion fades and reality steps in. It asks a hard question. Can love survive honesty? Or was their love only strong in chaos? The sneak peek doesn't promise a happy ending. It promises an honest one. This is not just another chapter. Culpa Nuestra feels like the moment where running is no longer an option. Every choice Nick and Noah made in the past now stands in front of them, demanding answers. There is no blaming fate this time. No hiding behind misunderstandings. The title itself says everything. Our fault. Shared mistakes. Shared pain. Shared responsibility. Nick can no longer pretend he didn't know better. Growth doesn't erase what he did, but it forces him to face it. For the first time, love is not about control or fear. It's about listening. About accepting that sorry doesn't fix everything. Some wounds stay. And loving someone sometimes means respecting the damage you caused and letting them decide what comes next. For Noah, this chapter is about power. Not the kind that hurts, but the kind that protects. She has learned that loving someone doesn't mean losing herself. Her strength now comes from knowing her worth, even if that means choosing a path that doesn't include the person she once loved the most. Forgiveness is not weakness, but neither is walking away. What makes this ending uncertain is that both of them have changed. And change can bring people closer or push them apart forever. The story is no longer asking if they love each other. That was never in doubt. The real question is whether love is enough when the truth is finally spoken out loud. Culpa Nuestra feels raw, emotional, and honest. It doesn't promise comfort. It promises reality. Some love stories end with holding hands. Others end with closure. And sometimes the bravest ending is accepting that love existed, even if it couldn't last. Whatever the outcome, one thing is clear. This is where their story tells the truth.